the Center of Excellence Black Student Achievement presentation. Okay, next slide. Go ahead, Neville.
I'm at the second slide. We at the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement, sometimes called the Center, is located at 2239 Lawrence Avenue East in the Winston Churchill Collegiate Institute building.
Okay, next slide.
I am Neville Worrell, and I'm a parent, caregiver, and community engagement worker at the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. Over to you, Sam.
My name is Sam Jama, and I'm also a parent, caregiver, and community engagement worker with the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Caden. I'm the Sensory Assigned Principal at the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement.
Okay, so I'll be reading the land acknowledgement. The land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa and Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis people. I also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 signed with the Mississauga of the Credit and the Williams Treaty signed with multiple Mississauga and Chippewa bands. Okay, over to you, Jeff.
And we just want to recognize and acknowledge the passing of Senator Justice Murray Sinclair, who this past week had passed away, who was a real champion for sovereignty, Indigenous communities, and is a leader of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And we have a quote here that really sums up the enduring message that was brought about by Truth and Reconciliation and preached by Murray Sinclair. We have described for you a mountain. We have shown you the path to the top. We call upon you to do the work. And it's the work that all of us are doing to connect and reconcile with our Indigenous peoples here on Turtle Island. Thank you.
Okay. Neville, African Ancestral Acknowledgement.
We acknowledge the Indigenous Africans who were forcibly removed from their native lands and dispersed across the New World. This involuntary migration heavily contributed to the movement of African descendant people across the African diaspora to places like Canada. As students and learners, we deem it highly necessary to think deeper and to examine the processes that led to the disposition of Indigenous people on this land and settler colonialism. Stolen people on stolen land. In entering a conversation about anti-Black racism, it is important to center the humanity of Black children and Black families and to examine systems such as the education system that act upon them. Dr. Natasha Henry Dixon.
Okay, and Neville will walk us through our agenda for today. Neville?
Well, the first thing on our agenda is the overview of the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement, and that is sometimes we call it the Center. We also will look at a breakdown of the Center of Excellence teams, and we will look at the mandates for the Center. Then we will dive into the role of our PCCEWs, which is our parent, caregiver, and community engagement workers. And then we will touch in on upcoming initiatives and programs, and then we will have a Q&A session.
Okay. Overview of the Center of Excellence. The Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. I think our next slide, Jeff, you will take us into this next slide.
Yeah, so thank you. So the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement, as you can read here, is the first of its kind in public education in North America. We're very proud of that. The leadership of the TDSB is able to pull together and create a space where we are dedicated to improving the experiences and outcomes of Black students. And we're aiming to be responsive to the voices of Black communities who continue to advocate for systemic change within educational institutions, and of course, committed to dismantling anti-Black racism within the TDSB. I think it's most important to note that the center is actually really a place of joy. And we have a lot of programming that you'll hear about where we focus on Black joy engagement.
Okay. Next slide. So I'm going to go over our team at the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. It comprises of these main roles that you have on the screen here. We have a core team, and I'll get into the details of each section. We have K-12 coaches, we have program coordinator, we have centrally assigned principal, graduation coaches for Black students, wellness team, and a research team. So the core team comprises of the parent caregiver community engagement worker. And with the center, there's two of us, me and also my colleague, Neville Worrell. We have an OA, office administrator, one office administrator, and we have a communication person. So that comprises of the four of us. K-12 coaches, we have four of them attached to the center that are assigned to different schools that work with teachers to train them on anti-Black racism and CRRP pedagogy. We have one program coordinator with the center, and also we have one centrally assigned principal, and he's also with us here today, Mr. Jeff Caton. Graduation coaches for Black student achievement, we have 4 graduation coaches attached to the center. And I believe this team will be expanding soon, and we'll have more graduation coaches to cover more schools. The wellness team comprises of 3 colleagues. 2 of them are social workers, and 1 is a CYC. And we also have 1 research coordinator attached to the center. All the programs that are carried throughout the center, a lot of them have a research component, and that's where our research coordinator works with the larger research team that is within TDSB. All right. Next slide, Jeff, Center of Excellence mandates.
So I'm going to briefly just talk about the mandates that we have at the center. There are 9 mandates where we cover students, families and communities, staff, system and staff. And it's important to note that the mandates are actually come from in consultation with community. This center was born from the idea of community. And so we reflect community's wishes and what they'd like us to do through our mandates. And for example, we're talking about under families and communities, looking at engaging in strategic community partnerships related to education. We're talking about meaningful engagement and advocacy with caregivers. And so this is an example of part of our mandate, being a part of the Parents as Partners conference, and also having our PCCEWs connect every day with families and community.
Okay. Next slide, Neville.
Yes, and this pic shows some family and community engagement at Willow Park Junior Carnival this year on June the 6th, 2024. Next slide, Sam. Well, the big question is what we do. First and foremost, we support school council. We also establish networks of local agencies, residents, and parents, and school representatives to provide advice, support, and resources to the schools in the neighborhood. We work with schools and local agencies to establish community-based programs which support literacy and numeracy and students at risk in elementary and middle school, with community reading programs, homework clubs, tutoring, computer literacy, etc. Next slide, sir. We also support early literacy and numeracy initiatives. We support parent and caregiver advocacy and navigation of the education system. We empower parents and caregivers to take active role in their children's growth and development. And we promote meaningful engagement between families, schools, and community stakeholders.
Okay, so today we'll be sharing with you all the various programs that are carried in the center, programs and initiatives that are coming up. We're very excited to announce our second annual ABC of Literacy, which will be held on January 28th. It's a virtual session. The workshop focuses on Ontario literacy curriculum and sharing with families K-8 resources and tools that support their understanding of reading and writing. Last year was very successful. We had 300 families that have joined the session. The session is led by the literacy team, and also we have teacher volunteers that share classroom tips and ways in which parents and caregivers can support their child's early reading and literacy tips to help them to close the achievement gap and to improve reading and writing scores for students. This is a flyer. We'll also be sharing with the wider network the flyer. So the registration will be closed by January 26, 2025. We're hopeful that you will share it with your wider network and join us on this very exciting session. Also, one of the initiatives that we will be launching this year is 1, 2, 3 of numeracy, which is similar to the literacy, supporting early numeracy, and also that would be facilitated, and we will be supporting that session by the Math Learning Partner Department in TDSB. We have not confirmed the date yet, but we will be sharing with you once that's finalized. Community partnerships, Jeff?
So we have a bunch of community partnerships, and I think it's important to note, you see here 110 million experiences across 38 sites. Our community partnerships have been online. You can see here we've had African dance and digital arts and media, and the arts educators kind of combined, but we're always looking for more partnerships within the center. And when we look at the partnerships, we're talking about connecting into schools. So partnerships that take place during the school day, those are called educational partnerships. And so we are constantly on the lookout. We've actually really increased the number of partners that we have over the last few years. We have actually over 104 partnerships that we've developed, because we do everything within collaboration at the center. So there's a wide array of opportunities for students to engage with community, with the Black communities in particular, and again, bring about Black joy, positive racial identity, and culturally relevant and responsive programming.
Okay, so how to connect with us? We have shared here different methods that you can connect with the Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement. We have a website, of course. If you go to the main TDSB website and type in Center of Excellence for Black Student Achievement, and we also have CEBSA for short, CEBSA. I believe it will be put in the chat so to bookmark the website. We also have our email that you can contact the center. We also produce monthly newsletters, which is organized by our communication director, that gives you an overview of all the different programs and initiatives that are going across the district. And we have also, if you go to the website, media features of different events and programming. Okay. So right here, how to connect with us. You can also follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe to our mailing list, and also be able to follow us throughout the districts for different programming for families, caregivers, and community engagement.